Welcome to part 2 of making upcycled outfits for my Epic Universe trip. Today I'm going to be making a How to Train Your Dragon corset to go over the dress I made last time. I was really struggling to find material to use for this one since the bedding options were limited and most of the t-shirt options were not my style. Eventually I did find this children's t-shirt on Poshmark which I thought would be perfect for this style. Of course that doesn't need a ton of material, so I was hoping that this would be enough. First I cut the shirt open and then I applied interfacing everywhere so that it won't stretch and to give it more structure. Next oh my gosh, I literally set that down 5 seconds ago. Anyways, next I cut out the pieces. I was really struggling with the placement of the front centerpiece since I wanted to include both Toothless and the main text, but they weren't centered, so I just did my best. For the other front pieces, I wanted to include some of the main graphics so that there would be a more natural transition to the solid color on the other panels. I like how it kind of looks like a map being burned on the edges, so I think not having the two pieces be completely even works. Then I sewed together all of the main panel pieces, the lining pieces, and the loops for the lacing on the back. I did have a slight mishap when I was ironing open the seams of the main fabric, and I forgot to put the ironing cloth on top, so some of the graphic actually melted onto my iron, which I then had to wait to cool down and clean. Thankfully, this spot was not on the front, so it wasn't a huge deal. After sewing on the loops, I attached the ribbons that I'm going to be using for the straps. I've never used ribbons on a corset before, but I thought that they would fit better with the Ren Fair vibe that I'm going for. I attached the lining and then turned everything right side out and pressed all of the edges. And then I started on the most time-consuming part of sewing all of the channels for the boning. I wanted to add a lot of boning to make the corset as structured as possible, so this took me forever, but eventually finished that and then added the boning. The final step was to finish the bottom, and oh my gosh, it's done. This was a lot more time consuming than the dress was, but it turned out even better than I could have imagined. Even the inside looks cool. Here it is with the dress, but I'm going to save the full look for when I'm at Epic. Sorry. I hope y'all didn't forget though that I still have an entire other outfit to make, so come back to see me start my Universal Classic Monster look for Dark Universe.